We are in TV2 Denmark in Odense, and this is our main news studio. This studio was built half a year ago, and building it we had several challenges. The house is very old. This house is from 1911, and it used to be a cattle station where they brought cattle in and sold it and took it to the slaughterhouse. But for that reason, because it's not built for TV, we had some challenges in here. One of the challenges was that the ceiling is not very high, and the ceiling cannot carry very much weight. So we had to design a very lightweight studio design here, buying lightweight lamps and buying energy-efficient lamps and putting up a very lightweight rig here. But we also wanted to maintain this airy feeling that we have in the rest of the house, that it's not a box in a box. Normally, traditionally, you would build a box in a box, which is you build a black box, and in this black box you make a TV studio, and this TV studio you have some presentation areas, but it's a very controlled environment. We wanted something different here. We wanted to have an open environment. We wanted people to be able to look into the studio, and we wanted people in the studio to be able to look out of the studio. Like if we take what we call Studio A, which is down there, we have 2 kilowatt lamps, and we have almost no fluorescent lights, and we have
how much would you need in there?
In there, I would need like between 20 and 30 kilowatts. Normally, if it was a mixture of tungsten lights and fluorescent lights, it would be 20-30 kilowatts. And it is right now, well, I would say, if we turn anything on at full, it would be something like maybe 5 or 6 kilowatts in there. But it's not that much because most of the lamps are down to 50%, so it's even less. It's maybe.
How many on hours? Do you know how many on hours they have?
How many what?
Day? How long are they on for every day?
I would say 3-4 hours every day.
Okay.
So. Versatility is the word. We wanted it to be very versatile, and we wanted it to be possible to shoot in almost any direction in the studio. We use a Steadicam, and the Steadicam moves around all the time, so we had to create a very soft light on the persons, on the anchors, and we needed to have a very nice background no matter which directions you look. So sometimes we have the control room as a background, and sometimes we have the working environment as a background, and sometimes we have a big screen as a background, or we have a handover from one position to another. But it is in the idea, and we have been doing this to some extent for some years, that the people working on the show or on the news broadcast sometimes get in the picture. But because of the aperture, I think it's 3.5 or something like that, they're not in focus. You can't really, maybe you can recognize them if you know them, but they're not really in focus. But they are part of the background, and you can see, hey, people are working here, and somebody is preparing something for the next news broadcast. And it was also in the idea, I don't know if we have done this yet, but it was also in the idea when we have breaking news going on, that the anchor should be able to stand up from his seat and walk down there and have a talk to walking down to a journalist saying, hey, I know this awful disaster somewhere. I know you're following this very closely. Can you tell us the latest news? This we want it to be possible. I'm not sure we have done this yet. I know that we have some election. We had some election last week where they were moving around a lot. That was the basic idea, that the people working on the news broadcasts, we could use them, we could talk to them, we could take them into the present news broadcast and say, what's the latest thing, what's going on here now? Can you tell us a little bit more about that? It's a part of the idea that they are all a part of the set, and they're all a part of the broadcast. Of course we want a green profile. Everybody wants a green profile, and it's this a basic principle here that every time we buy something new, we want a green profile. This is also a part of it. But also, we had some challenges with the building we were in. We couldn't put up heavyweight lamps. We couldn't put up energy-heavy lamps, which were heavy on energy. We couldn't put up a traditional tungsten lighting. We couldn't do that because we couldn't put up the ventilation, and we couldn't put up with the energy consumption here. So we had to go for energy-efficient lamps. When we chose the lamp, we had several different considerations choosing the lamp, and we did really extensive tests at that time. That's half a year ago, and we found 4 different lamps that would more or less meet our criteria, all of them, and we did extensive tests of all those 4 lamps. And some of the things we tested was the quality of the color in the lamp. The CRI at that time was the standard. Now we're using the EBU standard, but at that time it was the CRI. Was the CRI good enough? We did spectrum analysis of all of the lamps and tested the CRIs. But we also tested different other things in the lamps. And one of the things we did was testing the quality of the beam, because we knew we wanted a very soft kind of light. We found that, well, some lamps have problems. You know, if you have LEDs spaced, which we have on some lamps, if you do like this, you'll have from one lamp you'll have multiple shadows beside each other. We didn't want that, because we knew that we would be standing in maybe just 2 or 3 lamps sometimes. So we needed to be very conscious about that. And we also had problems with like the fans, the noise of the fans. We needed to test how noisy is the fan, and what can we live. There must be a fan. In most of those lamps, there must be a fan, and we had to be very careful to choose a lamp that was not very noisy in the fan, because we have at this place. At one time, we will have more than 50 lamps on at a time, so it adds up. So we had to be careful that they couldn't be noisy. It's different with the studio in Copenhagen, the new studio in Copenhagen, which works from 5 o'clock every morning till 12 o'clock every night. Yeah. But the biggest problem there is not really the power consumption. The biggest problem there is that we have to change the lamps. So every 6 weeks we change all the tungsten lights, because otherwise they will burn out.
How long is the lamp hour? How long do they last?
Well, it lasts between 500 and 600 hours if they're fully on, but if they're turned down, it will increase dramatically, then they may maybe beyond 1,000 hours. But our experience is that if we don't want one lamp to burn out, then we have to change most of them every 6 weeks.
And do you use filters as well?
We have filters.
So they burn out as well?
No, this is glass filters now, so they don't burn out. No, we have no gels. We have glass filters.
Okay. Well, it was really nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you.